Have you ever seen something that looks like it's straight out of a science fiction movie, but it's for growing food? Well, it's real, and it's happening right now, in tiny apartments, in vast deserts, and believe it or not, even in outer space. Today, we're going to break down exactly how these futuristic-looking towers actually work. Okay, let's just kick things off with the two numbers that make this whole thing so compelling. Imagine growing your food 3 times faster while using 95% less water than you would in a normal garden. And no, that's not a typo. That is the incredible promise that we're going to unpack right now. So you're probably wondering, how is any of that even possible? Well, it all starts with one massive, game-changing idea. You get rid of the soil completely. I mean, think about it. For all of human history, growing food meant digging in the dirt. But what happens when you just take soil right out of the equation? Here's the big secret. Plants don't actually need soil itself. What they need are the nutrients and the water that are in the soil. So these systems just, well, they skip the middleman. They deliver a perfectly mixed cocktail of nutrients and water directly to the plant's roots. It's that simple. Now, you've probably heard the term hydroponics thrown around, and aeroponics might sound even more complicated, but I promise you, the difference between them is actually super simple. So let's break it down. All right, so hydroponics is the big umbrella term for all of this. It actually comes from Greek words, hydro for water and ponos for labor. So literally, it just means water work. It's any method of growing that uses nutrient-rich water instead of putting plants in the ground. I absolutely love this analogy. It just makes it click. Think of martial arts as the huge main category. That's hydroponics. But inside that massive world, you've got all these specific styles, right? Like karate. Well, that's aeroponics. It's a very specific, super high-performance style of hydroponics. So here it is, the single biggest difference. In most hydroponic systems, the plant's roots are literally submerged. They are sitting in the water. Both aeroponics, the roots are just hanging out in the open air, getting gently misted with that nutrient-packed water. And that's the whole secret. Way more air and way less water. So we know the what. Let's move on to the how. Let's see how all this comes together to build this really elegant vertical growing machine. And you know what? The way it works is surprisingly simple. You can really think of it as an automated vertical water fountain, but for plants. Down at the bottom, you have a reservoir that holds the water and the nutrients. Then a tiny little pump, usually on a timer, sends that water all the way to the top. Gravity does the rest. The water trickles down, showering all those exposed roots. Any extra water just collects right back at the bottom, and the whole cycle starts over. It's incredibly efficient. Okay, now that you get the mechanics, let's talk about the results. Because this simple closed-loop design leads to some truly amazing benefits, both for the plants and, well, for us. First up, that 3 times faster growth. How does that even happen? Well, since the roots are just hanging there in the open air, they can breathe in all the oxygen they could ever want. In soil, roots can get waterlogged and suffocate. Here, all that oxygen supercharges their ability to slurp up nutrients. The result? Absolutely explosive growth. And then we come back to this number, a 95% savings on water. That figure is just staggering. In a normal garden, so much water just evaporates into the air or drains away uselessly. But here, because it's a closed loop, almost every single drop is either absorbed by the roots or it drips right back down to be used again. Nothing is wasted. And the advantages just keep piling up. All that oxygen we talked about, it means you basically eliminate root rot. You can control the nutrients with surgical precision. It's like being a personal chef for your plants. You can grow an entire garden in the same footprint as a floor lamp. And maybe the best part for anyone growing indoors, no soil means no mess. Ever. And look, this isn't just some cool gimmick for home gardeners. This technology is being put to use in some of the most challenging environments you can imagine, both on and off this planet. So who's actually using this stuff? Well, you've got city dwellers in tiny apartments with no yard space. You have commercial farmers in super dry regions like the Middle East, where every drop of water is precious. And then, most fascinating of all, you have NASA. Why? Because in zero gravity, soil and water would just float everywhere. Aeroponics solves that problem perfectly. An idea this revolutionary doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's been a journey of over 100 years. It really started way back in 1911, with the basic discovery that roots could actually absorb nutrients just from a mist. The name aeroponics was coined in the 50s. The first real commercial tower system was patented in '83. And the ultimate proof that this could work anywhere, that came in 1997, when NASA used it to grow beans on the Mir space station. So this really leaves us with one massive question. When you see how incredibly efficient this technology is with space, with water, and with time, is this more than just a cool way to have a garden? Could these towers, stacked stories high inside skyscrapers, be the answer to how we feed our future cities? It's a pretty powerful thought to leave you with.